So this past weekend at the Monterrey Regionals, we had some interesting results. Obviously, we see some decks here, as you're seeing on the screen, that we typically don't see too much of, you know, the main one being Blissey. But I will say that the deck that kind of stood out the most to me is a deck that's kind of been talked about for a little bit now. It's a deck that's been getting some results online if you look at online tournaments, especially if you look at Japan now, at a lot of the City League tournaments you've been seeing it pop up. And that is this Joltik kind of toolbox deck that has different attackers kind of for every single matchup. But as you can see, Tyler Matthews here got 7th place at the regional with this deck. We did have a couple other players playing it as well. I think the next place one is top 32 right here in 32nd place. We have one in 39th place, so a few different players were playing this deck, and it seems like it is starting to, you know, pick up some steam here. And like I mentioned, when you go over here to the Japanese city leagues here, which are kind of like, I guess, similar to League Cups if you want to compare it to that, we do kind of see a little bit popping up here. It shows up as Miraidon and Iron Hands, but when you click on the deck list, you'll see that it's the Joltik toolbox here. And this one particularly had top 3 with this deck and a 7th place as well, so we're starting to see it kind of gain some more steam. One player that really popularized it is, of course, Sajan Park, the VGC legend with the Pachirisu. That's kind of where I know him from mostly, but he's been playing every Pokemon game. I think he just qualified for Worlds in Pokemon Go this year, so he's basically done it all in every single Pokemon game possible. He has definitely been one of the innovators of this deck, and like I said, it is picking up a lot of steam here because it's kind of a good anti-meta deck. It has a lot of tools to kind of deal with a lot of the big meta threats. And I do think moving forward, you know, out of all the decks that we saw from this regional that aren't maybe that popular, I do think that this one here has the most potential, and I think we'll start to kind of see it more. Now, as always, if you guys enjoyed this video or you think it's helpful at all, I would appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. But today I want to go ahead and kind of talk about the deck list here that got 7th place, kind of talk about what each Pokemon is used for, and then of course show off some gameplay of myself playing, since TCG Live is actually working now. I'm also starting to build it like IRL. You know, I just end up building a lot of decks, so I'm working on this one. Maybe I'll kind of take it to a tournament. We'll have to see though. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Looking at the list here, we do have, of course, 4 different types of energies, which might seem kind of crazy, but when you look at the list, it kind of just all makes sense. I do think we could maybe cut down on one of the psychic energies, but again, whenever you do need Clefairy, you kind of need it, so the psychic energy there is obviously very helpful, so it makes sense why we would include 2 of those. But let's go ahead and point off the obvious here and talk about Joltik itself and what it does. So Joltik here has the Jolting Charge attack. It does no damage, it costs 1 colorless energy, and you basically get to accelerate 4 energies into play. And in a slower format like we have right now, where there's a lot of really good decks that take time to set up, you know, we have Badoo, you know, buying time for Dragapult to set up, for Gardevoir to set up. In a format like that, an attack like this is really good because you just get all these energies in play that kind of set you up a lot faster than they do. You basically only need 2 turns to power up and start attacking, whereas some of these other decks need multiple turns to kind of get going. And you don't really need any item cards. We do play 14 energy cards in general, so there's a good chance you can get a Joltik out turn 1 and kind of get the energies going right away. You get to search your deck for up to 2 basic Grass Energy and 2 Lightning Energy and attach them to your Pokemon in any way that you'd like. Now, the 2 main Pokemon that we're going to be attaching to are, of course, Iron Hands EX with the Ampu Very Much attack for 120 damage, which allows you to take an extra prize card if you knock out your opponent's Pokemon. So Dreepies, Ralts, any kind of small Pokemon, Badoo, you can easily knock them out with that attack and go ahead and take 2 prize cards from it. You're putting that pressure on early game because you're taking prize cards fast. And even, you know, if they have like a, you know, Squawkabilly or something that's weak to lightning, you can go ahead and take 3 prizes potentially. So obviously Iron Hands is really good. It's always been good. And it seems like this is kind of the main deck where we're going to see it now. The other main attacker that we're going to be attaching to here is Pikachu EX, which needs a Grass, Lightning, and Steel energy. So you can go ahead and what you can do is put Joltik in the active. You can put all your energies on Iron Hands. You can split it 2 and 2. That way you only need a Metal Energy to attach. So it basically allows you to have an Iron Hands EX, which can knock out all the smaller Pokemon, things that are weak to lightning, and then also Pikachu EX, which does 300 damage and can knock out almost anything in the format. And of course it has the Resolute Heart ability, which means that this Pokemon cannot be one-shotted unless you're using Monkey Dory to spread damage or things like that. But something like a Raging Bolt, for example, can't one-shot this without like a Slitherwing that will burn Pikachu. So basically it's a tanky Pokemon that does insane damage and you can power it up in 1 turn. Those are kind of our main 2 attackers. We do have some other attacking options though. We do have the Iron Leaves EX, which hasn't seen some play in a while. The last time I remember this being used was probably in Giratina Lost Zone, which kind of made sense for like Charizard kind of being around. In this deck here, it's kind of a good option to kind of get out of retreat lock. You already play the Grass Energies. It's just another attacker that you have. You have stuff like Latias to where you can free retreat, so it's just a really good option to include in the deck to kind of have another win condition, or just kind of a way to kind of escape retreat lock, especially. You do hit like Zoroark for weakness, you do hit like Charizard for weakness, which isn't that popular, but it is kind of just a good option to include in the deck. It's really only bad if you start with just Iron Leaves and you can't use his ability. From there you just go ahead and scoop and call it a game, but other than that, it's a pretty decent attacker to include. Bloodmoon Ursaluna, it's a staple to most decks. It's your late game attacker to do 240 damage to kind of close out games. And similar to Gardevoir, this deck is running the Clefairy EX in combination with the Mew. So the Mew here is good because it has the restart ability. You can draw cards until you have 3 in hand, but it also does have genome hacking to where you can copy your opponent's attack. And when you combine this with something like Clefairy, which makes all dragon Pokemon weak to psychic type, then you can basically destroy Dragapult. That's kind of why it's here, because Dragapult is everywhere. It's a great option to kind of deal with that. You can accelerate the energies pretty easily to, if you want to attack with Mew. Clefairy is not that hard to power up, it's just 2 energies, so you do have multiple options to kind of power these things up. And we also do run 4 Crispin in the deck, so it's pretty easy. Fezandipiti obviously here for support. When something gets knocked out, you get to draw cards. This deck also does include 1 copy of the Galvantula single prizer, just kind of a good way to not have a 30 HP Pokemon on your board with so much spread damage. Monkey Dory, Dragapult, it's just a very easy extra prize card for your opponent to take. Evolving it into Galvantula makes it to where it's not really worth it to attack because it's a single prizer. Everything else is like 2 prizers. So it kind of just saves them from taking an extra prize card. And I mean, you can also attack, same thing, you can hit dark type Pokemon, some of them for weakness, so it can be very good against like Zoroark. And then the last Pokemon here is Maractus, which is one of my favorite new cards here, just to kind of retreat lock stuff. This can be good in different situations, to kind of buy you time. So basically with this deck, you want to constantly be ahead, I feel like, with the prize race, whether it's taking extra prizes with Iron Hands, whether it's just doing damage with Pikachu. Maractus can kind of buy you time. Let's say you can't really get Joltik up or something goes wrong, you can kind of just bot something up, lock it in place with Maractus, and kind of buy you that extra time. As far as the energies go, we do run 5 Lightning, 5 Grass. It makes sense. We need to have a lot of energies in our deck to be able to accelerate them because they do have to come from your deck with Joltik's attack. We also run 2 Metal for the Pikachus and 2 Psychics. I kind of almost feel like there should be like another Metal, maybe, because in this particular build there's no like recovery options for energies, so basically you can get 2 attacks off with Pikachu, so maybe having another one would be kind of a nice option in case you prize one. And then as far as the support stuff goes, pretty standard across the board. We have 4 Arven, 4 bosses, which is kind of a lot, but again, you're just trying to be ahead, boss stuff up, take prizes, makes sense. 4 Crispin to kind of accelerate energies later on in the game. 1 Iono for just a little bit of hand disruption, everybody's favorites. 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Nest Ball for consistency. 3 Pokégear to be able to find all those supporters that you need. Got the 1 Earthen Vessel, which kind of goes good with the Arven if you need energies in your hand. Prime Catcher makes a lot of sense, especially with Iron Hands, being able to bring up the weak stuff, or even with Pikachu being able to kind of bring out the bigger threats. And then this build does run 2 Bravery Charm and 1 Rescue Board, and then also 1 Future Booster Energy Capsule, which does make Iron Hands do 140 damage with Ampy very much, which can be, pretty situational in some matchups. Now, I have seen some builds that have kind of like cut this extra Bravery Charm in favor for an experience share. I actually like that a lot. I think it's really good with Pikachu, being able to attach like that experience share, and then let's say you have your other Pikachu in play, you can go ahead and move it over once it gets knocked out. So I do think experience share is a really good item card here to kind of include, or tool card I should say. I also do realize I just forgot to talk about the Miraidon here. This is just here to kind of get more Pokemon out, so you can Nest Ball from Miraidon, and then you can get out both Joltik and Iron Hands in the same turn instead of just getting 1 Pokemon. And I guess you do have the option to attack too. Yeah, overall it's a really fun build. I really like it because you just have options for every single matchup. You have like the Clefairy with Mew here to kind of deal with Dragapult. You have the Iron Hands here to deal with Dragapult and to also kind of deal with Gardevoir. You've got the Pikachu here, which is really good against like Raging Bolt and stuff like that, and even Goldango, I feel like. And then you have a couple of single prizers to kind of mess up the math a little bit and always kind of stay ahead. You got Prime Catcher to bring stuff up, 4 bosses, which is kind of crazy. And again, we're trying to stay ahead a lot of times with this deck, so we don't run any counter catcher. So this is like a very good like anti-meta deck. I feel like it has a lot of things to kind of deal with the big meta decks that we've been seeing everywhere that have kind of been dominating. And so overall, I do think it's kind of a good pick right now, just considering how the format is kind of shaped up so far. And the crazy thing is that Tyler here ended up beating everybody at this tournament pretty much. Only lost to Brent, who ended up winning the entire tournament with Gardevoir. and had 2 ties against Goldango and Dragapult, but every other matchup here we see that they ended up winning. I can kind of see how that's like a tricky matchup because you do have Dragapult to be able to kind of spread damage, kind of negating Pikachu's ability, and then you're able to just one-shot things with Goldango, so I could definitely see how that could be kind of unfavorable. But yeah, overall, very solid run with the deck. I'm excited to try it out here, and I'm very excited to see how it does in the future. Let's go ahead and test it out and see what we can do on TCG Live. As always, the deck list will be in the description below if you guys want to test it out, and let me know what you guys think about the deck. I'm excited to actually play some games here. TCG Live has been down for like a day and a half now. I've been trying to record this, but then they went down for maintenance, and then there was like a crazy delay. I know they're still having some issues right now, but you know, we'll have to kind of live with it. You pretty much always want to go second with this deck because you can't attack with Joltik on the first turn. So by going second, you're able to accelerate that energy right away. I don't think there's really any matchup where you wouldn't want to go second, to be honest, but yeah, this is not the best hand, but hopefully that Pokégear gets us something. We'll see. We do have the Pikachu in play. I guess I can already bench Fez as well. And then next turn, I think I'm going to save the Earthen Vessel for now. What's tricky about this build is you have no recovery. I was about to just, you know, Earthen Vessel the Ursaluna. A lot of times I like to do that because it's like in my discard, and then late game I can like Night Stretcher and bring it back. This specific build doesn't have any recovery, so not sure that you're really able to do that in this case. But I do think that maybe we do want to add like a Super Rod or maybe a Night Stretcher. Some kind of recovery here would be nice for the deck, I feel like. But hopefully we can get some supporters here going. Not Crispin. Okay, we do get the Arven, nice. Let's go Arven here. Let's go Rescue Board. And then I'll go ahead and Nest Ball. Attach the board here. We're gonna Nest Ball for Miraidon. Check my energy count real quick. We only have 2 grass in the deck here. We did prize 1 Psychic, which we don't really need in this matchup. That means I prize 2 my grass energy, it looks like. A tandem unit. Can get the Joltik, the Iron Hands. And we can go ahead and retreat into the Joltik. Like I said, I don't really need Psychic Energy in this matchup. Let's go ahead and let's do this. I'm gonna attach a Grass still because later on I might evolve into the Galvantula, so I do want to be able to attack with that just in case I need to. And then we're gonna go ahead and Jolting Charge. I think I'm gonna go ahead and power up the Iron Hands. Gonna take time to evolve over there unless he has Rare Candy Gardevoir in hand, so we'll see what happens. So we're gonna attach 1 grass to Pikachu and then everything else onto Iron Hands. And I can attach that Psychic next turn to go ahead and power this guy up. My board's looking pretty good right now. They're evolving to Curlia, that means there's no Gardevoir, so if I can kind of boss that up, then we're sitting pretty good. Hopefully get an Energy and Boss in hand. That'd be perfect. Okay, no boss, that's fine. Do have the Crispin as well, and the Galvantula, so I can go ahead and evolve this Joltik. Pretty much you just need like 1 turn with Joltik. It depends on the matchup, I guess, you know. Let's say it's a really slow game, you're up against Badoo, and you want to just kind of get set up, you can basically do that. But in this case, we're pretty much powered up here. And then I can always Crispin later on too to kind of accelerate more energy later on in the game. A boss's orders would be kind of insane right now, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Got the Bravery Charm. Okay, I see you. That makes things a little bit tricky here. It actually does. Let me kind of look through my deck here. I don't even know that I want to bench anything here. I kind of want like Latias in play. Actually, I could attack with Galvantula here. That wouldn't knock it out there, right? 130? Yeah, still not enough. Yeah, that Bravery Charm actually kind of messes me up here a little bit. Oh wait, I can just Arven for Prime Catcher. What am I saying? Oh, we're chilling. We are absolutely chilling. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and evolve you. Arven. This is why Prime Catcher is so good in this deck. Grab Capsule as well. Prime Catcher. Bring you up. Bring you up. Catch the booster here. And then You want to burn? Well, I have all my lightning, so we should be fine. Honestly, we're fine. And then I don't really need Bravery Charm on anybody yet, so let's go ahead and amp you very much. 2 prizes, we'll take it. That's why it's so good with Arven too, because you can put that pressure on early. Because now they're set back to where, like, if they want to do anything, they need both Rare Candy and Gardevoir. Obviously, they're gonna draw cards here, so there's a good chance they get it. But even if they do get it, like, are they really knocking out Iron Hands? Probably not. They would need a lot to happen. I probably should attach Bravery Charm instead of the booster capsule here. Probably would have been the better play. I do need to start putting some energies on this Pikachu here. The Scream Tail. Well, maybe they knock out the Pikachu actually. And honestly, I'm feeling pretty good so far. If they do knock out the Pikachu, that does make things a little bit tricky here. But I don't think they have the resources to do it. They need a lot to happen. They need like another Bravery Charm. They need Rare Candy. They need Gardevoir. And they can't even do it actually now that I think about it because it's a Terra Pokemon. I always forget that, so... yeah, Pikachu should be safe. You could always like boss up the Pikachu and hit the Iron Hands, but... I feel like if that was the plan, they would have already done something. They didn't. Top deck boss, you can't make this up. I'm pretty sure they're gonna forfeit here. Would not be surprised. There it is. Just overall an aggressive deck in a format that is like pretty slow overall, I feel like. You love to see it. And I mean, yeah, at this point now, you know, Pikachu's chilling here, so it's kind of like pick your poison, you know. I can either draw into a boss again and bring up the vaults, or I can just attach to Pikachu and win next turn pretty much. I guess I would need 2 prizes, so either way I kind of need a boss here, but maybe we get it right here. Arven, okay. Iron Leaves, okay. Like a Mahidori. Did they put that energy this turn or was it last turn? I guess it was last turn. Okay. So theoretically, they could knock me out here. And if they get that second dark, they probably will. 16 cards left. I'm pretty sure they're gonna get it. Maybe not, though. Who knows? Not sure what the plan is here. You got a Mind Bend? How many energies do they have left here? 1? Yeah, they're really not doing anything here. At least I'm not seeing it. I don't really know what the move is here, to be honest. I'm not seeing it. And I kind of want this card right here. They're actually pretty cheap too. They're like $5 from what I saw. So that's one of those cards I feel like it's going to jump up a lot if this deck gets more popular. It's kind of cool to see like Miraidon sticking around though. Okay, we got the Bravery Charm now. That's doing 200. What's the 20 over there? They're 10 damage short still. They're still 10 damage short. 10 damage short. What are they going to do? Concede, yeah. They had no way to get another Psychic in the discard. If they would have knocked out the Iron Hands there, it would have been kind of interesting. I think I still would have been fine though, to be honest. All right, we get to go second again. Hey, I'll take it. Let's go. I feel like going first feels really bad with this deck. You kind of can't do anything. Like, you always need to turn to set up with Joltik, it feels like. And this is like the worst start. I talked about this. This is the one situation where you kind of just don't want to play Iron Leaves. But that's okay. We'll get out of this. Surely we'll get out of this, right? I do have an Arven. I got 2 Nest Balls, so we're looking pretty good, I would say. Iron Leaves start is pretty bad though, not gonna lie. I feel like sometimes this just feels like an insta lose, but you can kind of like play out of it sometimes. I went to a League Challenge last weekend and I made it to the finals. And in finals, I was playing Dragapult. I started with Ursaluna, which is like the worst start you can have. But I managed to come back and win, so you know there's always outs to it. You don't have to forfeit right away. Got an Iono in hand, so I already know next turn I'm gonna get Iono. He has 2 cards. Like there's no reason that he wouldn't do that. Let's go ahead and Arven. We need that rescue board. Thankfully I didn't prize that. And I have a Pokégear for next turn. I could just start Nest Balling, to be honest. Check my energies. 4, 4, 2, and 1. Okay, so I prize no energies actually. Prize no Pikachu. Prize 1 Iron Hands, which is fine. Based on what I'm seeing, we might not even really want Iron Hands, to be honest, in this matchup. I don't know that I really even need Miraidon, to be honest. I guess I didn't really need Rescue Board either. Could have just gotten what I needed over there. I guess I might as well just grab Miraidon, might as well. Rescue Board was kind of useless. I always forget about Latias, so yeah. Go ahead and get a Latias. And do I want Iron Hands? I don't know that I do, to be honest. I really don't know that I do. Let me Pokégear here and see if I can get a boss. Oh, but I'm gonna get Iono'd, I forgot. Yeah, he's gonna Iono me next turn. I already know he is. So because of that, I don't want to grab boss. I think I just grab Pikachu here and set 2 of these guys up, to be honest. I think that's the move here. And I just hope that he Ionos me into boss. It's gonna be kind of tough though. I do have a Metal Energy in hand right now, so that could kind of be a problem. But we'll see. If he doesn't Iono me, then at least I have Metal Energy, I guess. I just don't see why he wouldn't go for it here. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. Playing like Arven, you could just go for that instead, I guess. Crispin. Okay, he does have Arven, never mind. I definitely thought I was gonna get Iono. So I know his hand is Iono, he's got Crispin, and then I don't know what his last card is, but it's kind of always good to just like know what your opponent has. Earthen Vessel, Hops, okay. He's really not attacking this turn, right? Or am I crazy? Like, what is he attacking with here? Nothing? I guess Snorlax, yeah. Does 80 to itself? Maybe I should have just grabbed an Iron Hands, actually. This is kind of bad now, dude. I should have grabbed the boss. Point at that, like, what? What was that? What did I even play against? This game doesn't even count. We're going to the next one. Alright, game 3, last one here. Close it out here. We got the Belly Bolt coin here. It is heads. Hopefully we get to go second. Although, you know, it might be nice to kind of see me going first. Yeah, just to kind of see, like, what do you do in the situation type of thing. But you want to go second. And you don't want to get a mulligan to start the game off. Very cool. Double Miraidon. Let's go. This would be a very good hand if I was going second. Ooh, Frostlass. Okay, this is like my favorite artwork for the snow runs. All right, so what do we want to do here? I think I just want to go Joltik Iron Hands and pass. Like, I don't really want stuff with abilities in play. I'm gonna get Monkey Dory down. I'm gonna have one turn to kind of figure this out with Joltik. If I can get a Bravery Charm, I need a Rescue Board though. I could burn an energy. Got some options here. Maybe this is not what I think it is. What is with everybody playing? Like, what is this? Am I missing something with Hobbization? Like, I swear I'm in Masters right now. Like, I don't know what these decks are. Kind of spread damage with Hobbization. Okay. Hey man, maybe this will give me the next deck to kind of, you know, do some things. This feels really bad. Oh my goodness. Okay. This is like really bad. Okay. Cool. Yeah, this is really a matchup where you don't want to go first. Oh my goodness. Okay. What is this deck? Like, I don't even know. Okay. Put Tandem Unit here. Joltik down. I really want to boss up that Snorlax and kind of get it stuck, but I need a way to retreat here. We need to draw into something here. Rescue Board or Latias or something. Okay. We do have Ultra Ball. I prize my other Pikachu. I have plenty of supporters in hand, so I'm gonna get rid of Miraidon and a Pokégear. The Latias. Bench you. We're gonna attach here. Retreat. I'm gonna boss up the Snorlax here, so I can buy myself a little bit of time. And I don't want to bench Pikachu. I mean, honestly, the fact that he can kind of hit my bench is kind of annoying. But we're just going to power this guy up all the way. I should have maybe kept another Pokégear so that I could, like, get a boss or something. So I can't really one-shot this Snorlax, unfortunately. Could knock it out in 2 hits. What does this do again? 30 more damage. Got no way to damage himself right now. I'm guessing that's why the Snow Run is here, though. And the Iron Bundle kind of does nothing for him, I feel like. Unless he has a way to get into Zacian, yeah. That's a possibility. I have Latias, I guess. Yeah, maybe he just wanted that off the board, I don't know. What do we want to do here? Just go Arven. Oh, got Prime Catcher. Ooh! Okay. Prime Catcher Bravery Charm here. Could knock out that Monkey Dory. I mean, his Snorlax is kind of just stuck here, which is really nice. I'll already bench this guy. I'm gonna Bravery Charm the Joltik so that it can't get knocked out. And I'm gonna go Prime Catcher, bring up the Monkey Dory just so I can kind of knock that out the way. We'll go Ampy very much. Start putting a little bit of pressure here. He has a pretty low hand. Got no Fezandipiti on the board. He has no Frostlass. And to be honest, I'm not really scared of the Zacian. Like, it's doing damage, but it's not knocking me out. We got the Joltik Bravery Charm now, so he can't knock that out. And if I can draw into boss, then I knock something else out, so that's all looking pretty good. Bring the monkey back. Needs the energy though, does he have it? Double Night Stretcher, I'm sure. He's burning everything for this. I mean, I don't really know what the point of that is, like, to burn all that. Like, you're not doing much, right? How much damage is he doing here? 30, 69, yeah, it's not knocking me out. Just go Crispin here, right? Like, this is just the play to go for. And now he's got nothing, literally. Like, I don't understand the thought process there, to be honest. I really don't. I don't know why I didn't put that damage on the Pikachu to break the ability. We got lots of questions here. All I need here is boss and I win. Guess I just win anyways because he has Monkey Dory. Yeah, I don't know why you don't push it the Snorlax there. I don't know. Lots of questions. I don't know what that deck was, but that was interesting to say the least. Well, that's gonna be it for you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this deck. I think there's a lot of potential here right now with how the meta is. I think this is a deck that has the potential to do well moving forward. It is one of those decks where it kind of has to just be like well positioned depending on what's going on. But I mean, Dragon Ball's going nowhere, Gardevoir's going nowhere. So if you can deal with those two decks, you're probably in good shape overall. But yeah, it's really cool to see this deck do good. I'm loving the Joltik. I know in the past, People had tried it out with like Blissey and stuff when it first came out. It never really took off, you know what I mean? But pairing it up with Miraidon and these attackers here makes it feel really good overall. If you guys want to see any other decks like the Blissey deck, or you know, some other decks that you've seen do kind of well, let me know in the comments below. I'd be happy to try them out. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you have a good one, and I'll catch you all in the next one.